Welcome to Before Floor, the pregame edition of Five on the Floor, brought to you by the Five Reasons Sports Network. I'm your host, Jonathan, aka Three Piece Combo. We're joined by the main man, Mr. Ethan J. Skolden. We got Guy joining us with the fresh haircut, and we got Timmy as well. We are here for the pregame of Game 4 of the Eastern Conference semifinals, Miami Heat versus the New York Knicks. Of course, the New York Knicks had their AC game last time out, and we'll have Ethan bringing us the muscle spasm report coming up soon. But as always, we want to make sure we thank our sponsors and thank you guys for watching the show. Make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you guys subscribe to the network. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. So you're always up to date on all the Miami Heat news, all the South Florida news. If you follow us on Twitter, you saw ESPN didn't even cover the Heat Knicks game for the first 10, 15 minutes the day after the game. So Miami isn't going to get covered unless they're losing against the team. So make sure you guys follow the Five Reasons Sports Network on all social media platforms. And we want to thank our guy, Mark Brown, PA. So make sure you guys go to markbrownpa.com. He's the best guy for if you have any real estate lawyer issues. You want to make sure you're estate planning. If you're young with a family, you want to make sure all that's taken care of. You see how crazy this world that we live in is right now. So make sure that if you have any assets, house, cars, that it goes to the right people. You want to go into your family. You don't want to go into anybody in the government. Make sure that your family gets all that stuff. Go to markbrownpa.com or give him a call, 954-866-8513. He does do a free consultation as well. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, he'll help you understand what this is all about. Make sure you guys reach out to him. Don't leave your future up to risk. Don't let any of that happen to you guys. Make sure you guys reach out to him. You see the website on the screen. Like I said, 954-866-8513. And he's a Heat fan, so support your Heat fans as well. Don't go supporting a Knicks fan, right? Now, guys, we'll go to Prize Picks. Of course, it's that promo code 5, but we'll get into that when we get into our picks later. Ethan, let's get a live report from the building. Is the building too hot for the New York Knicks today?
It's 66 degrees today. It is sunny outside. I do not know if the sun will affect them inside the building itself, but I can tell you that right now my muscles have cramped slightly. I was trying to get over to the food room. Two things happened. First, I realized that the food here sucks, and it was $10. But the other thing that happened was literally I couldn't make it all the way to the back because it's just too warm in here. I'm in South Florida. I don't know if you've ever been down here, Jonathan, because I know you're a North Florida guy or a Central Florida guy, so you don't really count. Timmy's down in the Bahamas. I don't know where the hell Gad is, but I can just tell you right here, it's just too damn hot. Okay, it's too damn hot to play basketball. You can crank the air conditioner to a level where it's 22 degrees in here today, and I'm telling you, Jalen Rose will still come up with an excuse for the fact that Julius Randle is one of the worst stars in the league in the playoffs. That is coming tonight. So that is your report. Other than that, I have nothing else to say here. I've been on 12 different shows here today. Heat take this game tonight by 9. They go up to New York, and we'll see what happens in Game 5. But that's where this thing is at. I honestly, with the conditions in this building, they're just so traumatic for the Knicks. I cannot see a way that they could possibly compete in this particular game. So now we've done the equivalent of ESPN's coverage. Have a good day, everybody.
There we go. We got the coverage from Mr. Ethan J. Skolnick. So, like I said, guys, I think Brian Finesca is one of the guys that said this. Julius Randle has only had 4 games shooting above 50% in the playoffs thus far. One of those games being Game 2, where they barely scraped by the Miami Heat. But let's get to tonight's game, guys. Obviously, Jimmy Butler had a little a fall down in Game 3. A little bit worried. I thought it was an ankle. Turns out it was a thigh. Bam Adebayo had some treatment on that shoulder that I think RJ Barrett got tangled up in with as well. So hopefully those guys are both healthy. But Gad, you haven't been here for a couple games. You actually haven't been here for the series, I don't believe. What are your thoughts just as a whole of the series? And then also coming into tonight, what are your thoughts going into tonight's game?
Yeah, no, I haven't been here in a long time, but it is good to be back. It's been fun to watch. Just this whole playoff run in general has just been electric, man. Like the slog of the regular season to now, this team is completely locked in on both ends of the floor. Now, are they the most talented team in the world? No. But you could argue they're playing the best brand of basketball in the NBA right now. Does that mean they're going to win everything? That's TBD, but they're playing really good basketball, and it's been fun to watch. And in this series in specific, I think it's different from last series because last series, you knew you needed like supernova Jimmy Butler in order to get to where the Heat wanted to go. And they got that enough. They got enough games of that to the point where they could beat the Bucks in 5. But with the Knicks, you haven't really had a supernova Jimmy Butler game. You really haven't had like a good Bam Adebayo game. You've had average to below average games from him.
Defensively, he's been a monster.
Oh, of course, but that's almost a given with him. Like that's his
Right.
floor, right? And then the ceiling games, they haven't really come. It's been the other guys. Which if I were someone who for some reason chose to root for the Knicks, I would be so disheartened by that because even in game 2, when you don't have a great Bam and there is no Jimmy and all this other stuff, and Julius is playing well and RJ is playing well and Brunson's got it going. I mean, it was a rock fight. Like to me, the takeaway has just been that the Knicks, the way that they won in the first round just hasn't been sustainable against the Heat. And I think a lot of that is due to coaching. I think Spo, I will give credit to Kyle Lowry too. I think they've done a fantastic job of really, really gelling together to the point where almost every lineup makes sense. Even the ones without Jimmy and Bam, almost all those lineups make sense. And they're a well-oiled machine right now. And I think you're seeing that. I think we honestly still haven't seen the best of the Miami Heat in this specific series. I think they still have another level to get to, and I'm hoping that we see that tonight.
Yeah, I mean, everything you said rang true. I mean, the first thing you said, the other guys, right? For the first time since 1975, 3 undrafted players led a team in scoring in game 2 when you had Caleb Martin, Gabe Vincent, and Max Strus leading the team in scoring. I think all of them had 20 plus. So that's the first time in since 75. That's almost 50 years, 48 years before that's happened again. And I mean, those were development stages of the league. So that's just shown how far the development of this team is. And they haven't shown us that development most of the season. Caleb Martin struggled playing the 4 most of the season. Gabe Vincent really had a tough time just getting a shot off, getting into a groove. And Max Strus would have a good game and then have about 5 or 6 bad ones. But like you said, this whole playoff run, and as well as this Knicks series, especially where you haven't had Supernova Jimmy Butler, the other guys have been giving you so much. I asked for a Max or Duncan game last time out. Max came in and gave you just reverse layups, 3-point shots. I think it was 9 points in the first quarter, matching Jimmy, or just 1 point less than Jimmy. So each one of these guys are giving you the quarters. They're giving you what they need. But let's get into tonight's game a little more, Timmy. I want your perspective on what do you think that we're going to get from Kyle Lowry, because I think he's been one of the more unsung heroes because he's in between, right? You have the stars of this team in Bam and Jimmy, and then you have the undrafted players in Caleb and Gabe and Max and all the other guys. But Kyle Lowry has been a guy that's done what Gad has talked about, which has allowed this team to transition seamlessly between lineups from Bam Adebayo and Jimmy in and Jimmy out, because Kyle Lowry has been hitting shot after shot at important times. He's taking the shots at the right time, and also he's finding his teammates at the right time and playing the best defensive basketball that I've seen in Miami Heat jersey. What do you like from Kyle Lowry coming into tonight's game?
Hot take, Lowry has been the 3rd best player. I mean, I don't know if it's a hot take, how you guys feel about that, but my personal opinion, if not 3rd best, 3rd most important. Like we spoke a lot about how Kyle's veteran leadership and Raptors kind of player after the issue and the bench, and we thought maybe it wouldn't come, but I mean, he has shut us all up, and he's earned every set of his contract. I have a very calm feeling every time he gets the ball. Like when Kyle, it's so crazy. Like whether Gabe is playing good or bad, once Larry has the ball in his hand, I just feel like comfortable. I think nothing says it more than the last game when they extended the lead from 8 points. They had 8 points when Jimmy sat, and when Jimmy sat, it went to 19. That was Kyle and Duncan, Zeller, Caleb, and Haywood, 5 bench players. Like to do that with 2 undrafted guys, Zeller, who took basically a year off from basketball, Caleb, who was the Red Bull. I mean, maybe it's because the Knicks suck, but Lowry just made the right play after play after play after play after play. Like every pick and roll had meaning, every pass, every dribble, it's a machine. It's a machine, and and it's crazy. I remember us talking about Lowry like earlier in the season, and I'm like uber comfortable with Lowry right now. Like he's the OG. He would get him to be paid for right now, and I'm just comfortable with him on the floor. Like Gabe had an off game, but Gabe still I think he was like a +5 or something. Like it's just all is clicking right now, and we'll see 2 more games. And Spo really knows how to. I think Brady said that like Phillips has been like a game behind every adjustment. So I'm curious to see. I think Deuce is going to play tonight, and funny fact, the next best lineup has been 2 starts for Hart. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not really a conspiracy guy, but they're saying like, no, Hart is starting because he is Brunson's guy and a CAA guy, and they actually play better with Deuce than Hart. So I don't think Thibs is gonna get that desperate and start Deuce over Hart after Hart did work, I guess, in the first playoff series. But I'm actually kind of a bit worried, not for Deuce himself, just the little intangibles he brings his team, because they have been missing you have Kyle Lowry again, the guy who playing with a bum knee, who missed about 3-4 weeks with a knee, diving on the loose balls over the guys. So guy brings the type of grit that may swing some plays back in their favor. So that's what I'm looking for on the other side. But I just trust Larry, man. We had good hands.
Yeah, like you said, the trust level is the biggest thing with Kyle Lowry because, I mean, you look at what Cody Zeller done, almost all of it is due to Kyle Lowry and the way he's getting set up from those Kyle Lowry. You have to give credit where credit due with those screens as well, that Zeller's just been playing mature big man basketball, what you want out of a veteran big man backup, right? That's what you want, and that's what you brought him in for. Shout out to the Miami Heat. Those acquisitions that were made post
that was so sneaky. There was like, here for Together. Haven't heard the name in like a year.
And they come out, and Kevin Love, not playing in Cleveland, he's giving you great minutes, giving you three, not as much as the shooting in this series, but the rebounding and the passing has been absolutely outstanding. And just his ability to be in the right spot, because Miami plays such good team defense. He knows how to be a team player on defense and be in the right spot. So even if he is the most one-on-one, most talented individual defensively, he's still able to hold his own just because he knows how the Heat want to channel and funnel their defenses in directions. So let's get into prize picks for tonight, guys. Make sure you guys, if you're going to go to prize picks, if you're going to gamble at all, make sure you guys maximize your money. Every gambling site does some sort of promotion. Our promotion here at Prize Picks is we'll double your money. Essentially, we'll give you up to $100 free if you use the promo code 5 on your initial deposit. So let's get into the Prize Picks, and looking at some of the picks on the board, looking at the first half, I see a lock for me here. I'm not sure if the screen is sharing, but if Alejandro pull that up, he will soon. Obviously, he's the main man here. But they have Max Strus at first half, 5.5 points. I like that. I do think that he'll try to build off of last game. And, if he hits just 2 threes in the first half, he can go over that 5.5 points for the first half. So for me, I'm going to go over on the Max Strus first half points at 5.5. Gad, you're the fresh man here. You haven't been here in a little while. What stats, or who do you want to look at for stats for tonight?
Honestly, I like that same exact bet that you took, except for Gabe Vincent. He only took 8 shots last game, so damn well he's getting 16 up tonight at a minimum. And I would not be shocked if they came in the first half. So I would also go with over on points. Probably both of those won't hit, so we'll see which one of them ends up hitting. But I feel confident that at least one of them will. So I like that. I think Gabe's going to come out. I know they really like him as a pull-up shooter earlier on in games. They will run sets to get Gabe pull-up looks. And I think maybe that's just to kind of warp the Knicks defense a little bit, but they have been hunting that a little bit early on in games. So I would not be shocked if Gabe had, I'll say, anywhere from like 9 to 10 points at halftime.
Yeah, I think that's a potential for both guys. And the best part about prize picks, right? If you get one of them wrong, no big deal. Make sure you use the flex play. So that way you'll either 3 times your money if you get them all right with 4 picks, I think it is. Or if not, at least you'll get 120%, right? You'll still make a little increment on your money, even if you don't get them all right. Timmy, who do you want to look at for picks on the board for tonight?
I actually want to look at Randall. I know he's going to come out shocking. So what's his numbers?
They have him at 23.5.
He's got to take 60 shots for that to hit.
Yeah, I don't have him that high. It was like an 18, 19. Yeah, but no, I might take the under that actually. Yeah, I know Bam is playing with a compression jacket shirt tonight, but Bam's not gonna let that fly tonight. No,
Bam has been excellent on Julius Randle defensively, and so has everybody else, right? I think that, you have guys like Zeller getting in his head. It just shows you that Randle isn't that guy offensively. Like he's definitely a talented player. Obviously, he put up triple doubles when he was in New Orleans. I think he was even better, to be honest. But he's not a number one guy, so it's tough for him to be able to put up numbers unless it's, like Gad said, on high volume. So I think both of us have it there on the under for that. Gad, who else do you want to take a look at for the last pick for tonight? Let's see if Jimmy Butler's free throws. That's pretty much a lock, to be honest.
I don't think he's been getting a very favorable whistle in this series. Now, you could say there's some regression, but I think the refs are they're kind of sick of him at this point, if I'm being honest with you, because he has not been getting the most favorable whistle. I will say I think the majority of the Heat have been getting a favorable whistle in this series, but that's kind of besides the point. Ooh, I like that Kevin Love pick, actually. More than 6 rebounds. Listen, I don't know if he plays enough minutes because there has been a lot of moments in which they do feel comfortable going away from him, but in limited minutes, he could get 6 rebounds in the first quarter, honestly. Like, sometimes he's just a magnet towards the boards, and he's doing a really good job of just, like you guys were saying earlier, just being a good vet, just being very fundamental in the right place at the right time. And I think that also is happening on the boards too. If it's not Kevin Love helping Bam, it's Bam helping Kevin Love. They have some good synergy on the boards right now with boxing out. So I like that pick.
Just looking at some of the Kevin Love box scores, and of his last 5 games, 9 rebounds, 6 rebounds, 5, 12, and 7. So he's hit on 2 of them. The only one that he really didn't go on is when he had 16 minutes play, like you said, got a little bit less in that game too, where Jimmy was out as well. So I'm sure there was a little bit of schematically trying to save him, to save when Jimmy comes back. But I'm liking that over on the rebound. So like I said, guys, if you get them all right on the flex play, you'll 5 times your money. So if you use, just let's say $5, right? Gamble smart. So you'll get them right. And even if you just get 3 out of the 4 right, you'll still get $2.50 on your bet. So you're winning money on gambling, essentially. You're winning every time. Make sure you guys compound your money and use that promo code 5, F-I-V-E, spell it out. You see it on the screen. So we'll get to that. So Gad, go ahead and make your pick for tonight's game. Timmy will close us out.
Listen, I'm rocking with the Heat. I think the Heat have shown to me, at least, that they're the better basketball team in this series. And you can say what you want about the Knicks. They can get this, that, and the other. I think that it's weird that we've done this complete 180, but the Knicks' margin for error in this series feels so much smaller than the Heat's. Even without a Jimmy Butler supernova game, feels like the Heat are just playing better, more confident, more together brand of basketball that – honestly, that arena is going to be rocking tonight. I know the Knicks they're definitely going to give a very strong punch, especially early on. I would not be surprised if in the middle of that second quarter, the Heat are losing or whatever. But close game, I'm taking the Heat. They're battle tested. And honestly, just the fourth quarter, I think the Heat are going to win almost every fourth quarter of this series with Jimmy Butler being healthy. So I'm rocking with the Heat tonight. I like Ethan's prediction of 9. I'll say they stretch it out to 11. I'll say Heat by 11. I think they get a really strong run to end this game after it kind of being a little bit of a rock fight for the most part.
No, I definitely agree with you. I think that the Knicks are going to come out with a punch. Something that we have to think about is the regression for the three-point shooting. Miami didn't necessarily shoot the ball from 3 well either last game, but we have to look at the regression that the Knicks might have not shooting the ball well at all from three-point land. They might be wanting to shoot a little bit better, but Miami is willing to live with those shots from the right guys, which is something that I like, and something that, Milwaukee, I think, had 7 guys shooting near to 40% from 3. New York isn't nearly as dangerous from deep. You have guys like Jalen Brunson, even their 2 stars, they don't shoot a lot of threes, or they're not very efficient at their threes, I should say. They do shoot a lot of them, but they're not very efficient with them. So I think Miami is going to continue to play smart defense, will allow them to maybe take some open threes, but if they start hitting those open threes, we have to make sure we get them out of rhythm. I think that's something that's going to be very important, is to not let the Knicks, and especially Jalen Brunson, get in a rhythm, because we saw, even in the middle of the game, he was able to get to the free throw line, ref some or bait the refs into getting some calls for him. So make sure the Heat walk into that. Timmy, close us out on predictions, and we'll get us finished out, logged out here.
Like Dad mentioned, the Heat shot very badly from 3 last game. I think we were like 8 for 40 and they were like 7 for like 30. Like, it was a bad 3-point shooting game, and we still won by a good march. So even if they shoot bad again, the Heat they know how to win. Not only know how to win, they know how to beat this team. So I think tonight is gonna be break them. I think we get Spike Lee crying. I think screaming is. I think like when Bane came into Gotham and broke Bruce's back. Like, I think tonight is the night we break them. I actually think we're gonna get a hot game from one of the stars, and it's just not enough. Like, they're gonna be exasperated. Someone's gonna curse somebody out I think it's gonna be a very bad for the guys. Like, Jimmy's out there getting his hair plaited. Like, I was like, oh man, this is the vibes. Oh, I remember what I wanted to say. I think this has been talked about enough. They asked Larry about Kevin Love, and Kevin and Larry said it's good to get another joyful guy back in the locker room. So despite all the bad vibes this season, it seems as if Love has really brought like energy and joy and love back to this team, and it's showing, like when Toppin stepped on the sideline, gang, and they wiped up like the chemistry. Take us there, Kevin. Like, I think Like Ethan said, that might be the best. This might be the best buyout acquisition, but not just for his on-court stuff, but what's happening in the locker room is special, man. Like we weren't getting these locker room videos during the season. Like now, every game you get a locker room. See, like I feel like Love has really been out. As a vet, as someone who's really outspoken about mental health and his mental health, like I think Love has really brought some great vibes to this team.
I think he's kind of done a little bit, not as maybe as not as serious and maybe not as in a forceful manner, but the PJ Tucker kind of just a glue guy, role off the bench where he's a leader on the bench. He's supporting the team when calls don't go right. He's yelling at the team. Like, he's doing the right things as a veteran on the bench as well. And you see him just being a high energy guy. And that's what you want out of this team. This team had lacked energy all season long. Like it was tough to really just see this team doing Miami Heat things. And that's something that all of a sudden you're seeing guys break their hand, unfortunately, diving on the floor for balls, right? But they're doing Miami Heat things and trying to make plays. So shout out to Kevin Love. Like you said, Timmy, just doing a good job as a veteran, a true veteran for this team and coming into the locker room. I got Miami as well, just for all the reasons you guys said. I already kind of gave my take for it. But guys, leave your predictions in the comments. If you think Miami's going to lose or if you think the show sucked, let us know why. Make sure you guys let us know. Make sure you hit up Mark Brown PA. Make sure you use that promo code 5FIVE for Prize Picks to match your initial deposit up to $100. Like the video, subscribe, follow all the social media. Let's go Heat. We'll see you guys after the game.